Over the last 6 years, I have spent $188,000 making over 3,000 YouTube videos across 20 different channels, and this video is jam-packed with actionable information for you on what strategies I have learned on YouTube, what definitely does not work, and if you stick around till the end of the video, you'll also find out how as a creator, maybe you can spot YouTube algorithm changes early before everyone else, and exploit it for more views. The algorithm exploits that help accelerate channel growth have changed over the last few years, so I'm going to cover what actions work today and why they work, as well as some popular suggestions you may have seen in other videos which definitely do not work. Let's talk about cross-promotion. This comes in two forms. Either you actively collaborate with another YouTuber and promote each other's channels in doing so, or you pay someone to link your channel on either their end cards or community posts. This is the fastest way to drive relevant viewers to your channel, but there are some caveats to be wary of. If you don't have a very strong overlap with your cross-promoter, for example, one is a Fortnite gamer and the other is a Marvel Rivals gamer, you will be pushing over the wrong viewer base. Now you might think there's a lot of overlap in those two audiences, and you're probably right. The issue is, when YouTube look at those audiences' consumption data, they don't just look at how well those viewers consumed your specific video that was cross-promoted. The YouTube algorithm also looks at that viewers' viewing habits are as a whole. This can be problematic, because if the viewers you cross-promoted predominantly consume Fortnite YouTube content, YouTube will now start pushing your Marvel Rivals videos directly to Fortnite viewers, which is not a perfect fit, and will result in a poor click-through rate and bad APV. One of my consulting clients is facing a similar issue at the moment, where he has promoted a new channel with his very large existing audience base. This does build up a decent viewer base, but he has ultimately subordinated the new channel's views as being from the subsection of viewers that came from the original channel. So if you're going to cross-promote, you need to be very careful to select a YouTuber who has a very clear overlap in both content and audience behavior. Additionally, to limit the amount of people who briefly click on your channel and then decide they don't like you and click away, when you cross-promote, add a barrier to the viewer finding you. Don't just link your channel at the top of the description. Tell the viewer to search your channel's name directly or bury the link in the description. These extra barriers ensure the only viewers of that cross-promoter's audience that actually reach your channel are the ones who are really eager to watch your content and will likely give you better analytics. This algorithm exploit is sneaky, and I haven't seen anyone talk about it on YouTube yet, not even Spiffing Brit. You may have heard of view botting or farming before. This doesn't work on YouTube, but there's a much smaller scale and harmless version which does. First, you need to understand what niche you're in and map out all of your competitors. The fastest way to do this is by looking at your YouTube studio at the What Your Viewers Watch section. But if you don't have enough data available for that yet, create a new channel and search key terms related to your niche and find the channels posting and subscribe to them. Then go back to the YouTube homepage, press refresh, and it will recommend a bunch of new channels to you in the niche that you're interested in. Now you're going to use this synthetic user to build up some viewer history and data for YouTube that simulates what a viewer who likes that type of content would watch. Do this by watching, liking, and commenting exclusively on videos which are in the niche that you're interested in. After doing this for a few days, you can now use this synthetic channel to generate one view on your real channel. But it's important to do this in a way that appears organic to YouTube, so you should not just go to your channel page and click on the video. The best way to do it is to use a different IP address for your fake channel by switching from your Wi-Fi to mobile network or using a cafe's Wi-Fi, essentially so YouTube doesn't figure out the synthetic view is from the same person as the uploader of the video. Next, search a term similar to your YouTube video and try and find it in the search results. If it doesn't appear, use the filter function to find it. Then view the whole video and leave a like and comment. Now you have one seemingly organic view with high engagement and retention, which YouTube can use to recommend to real organic viewers similar to the ones of the viewer you created. Rinse and repeat this process 3 or 4 times, and this guarantees your YouTube video will be promoted to the right audience instead of what typically happens for when YouTube channels are new, which is an experimentation phase, where YouTube poorly guesses who to recommend your videos to and gives you a bunch of very bad impressions and ruins your channel's chances of success. But since this synthetic viewer method tells YouTube immediately what the audience should be, your click-through rate is likely to be higher, which will lead to more impressions, and if your videos are engaging, your channel will grow insanely quickly. The best way to implement the bandwagon method is to identify a video in your niche that has gone viral recently, which you can do by searching the name of your niche or topic and filtering by the last 30 days, or by checking the channels of your biggest competitors directly. Then you need to confirm viewers are still accumulating at a rapid rate by checking with the free Chrome extension ViewStats or vidIQ. Once you've confirmed this, assuming there are not dozens of the same titled and themed videos, you can go ahead and make yours, which is similarly themed but with different content. Whether that is original gameplay for a gaming YouTuber or for other niches, an alternative approach to the same ideas as the original video. In order to effectively bandwagon, you will need to use the same title as the original video as long as that doesn't infringe on a person's identity, and try to use some of the same words in the first few seconds as the video, as YouTube takes the dialogue for context in the video's contents, and this is heavily biased towards the opening of the video. Once your video is posted and YouTube understands that the content is similar to the original video, it will begin to place your video in the suggested videos section on the original video, allowing you to gain some attention and views. I will caveat this by saying this is a shortcut. You should not do this for every or even most videos, as a lack of originality will hurt your channel growth in the long term and potentially your own brand. Like most things in life, money helps you get to where you want to go faster. In the case of being a YouTuber, this holds true, but not always. If you're a new YouTuber, you likely experience a bottleneck at a certain point in production that you are not good at or find really time consuming. In my case, that's video editing, so it's the first thing that I always outsource on each channel. It's also the cheapest thing to outsource, so if you're just starting out, this is a good place to start. Money will always help you improve the quality of videos quicker, as you can outsource to someone who is better than you. If you outsource thumbnail production, as long as you give guidance on the style and composition of the thumbnail, a skilled artist will give you a better thumbnail than your competition, meaning your click-through rate, which is the third most important metric on YouTube, will be higher, making your channel grow faster, obviously. However, if you feel disheartened by that because your channel budget is zero, don't worry. Because as you can see from all these example channels, a big budget does not always translate to success. The overuse of fancy animations and the over-top editing makes the videos feel sterile and corporate-like, and in a digital landscape full of overproduced content, a shift towards more organic, rough-around-the-edges content has made waves in recent months. Here are some shortcuts that don't work. Pre-2020, YouTube was keen to get as much content on the platform as possible, and the algorithm reflected this. So if you uploaded with a high frequency, for example daily, you would be rewarded with more viewers. However, this backfired and YouTube found itself swamped with low-effort content, automated content, and way too many stolen videos, which were being re-uploaded. So they have since course-corrected. Now YouTube cares about video quality, which they measure by audience engagement and retention. So posting frequently with content that is less than your best won't cut it. Do not listen to YouTubers who tell you to upload bad videos with the rationale of, it gives you more chances of going viral. That's not a nuanced view, and it's not good advice. Your chances of going viral increase when you post a video which a large audience will find either entertaining, educational, or if it hits some point in time quirky cultural tone. If you're rushing to post bad videos, most likely you will not hit any of these three notes, and thus the chance of you going viral is zero. You are better off posting once a week and being confident that that is the best work you can do than once a day and knowing you could have done much better. Similarly, overusing AI to produce your videos, and by overusing I mean AI to write the script and do the voiceover and the animation, is not yet the path to success. The concern is not actually whether YouTube can detect you using AI or not, it's the viewer. Whilst AI has exciting potential for application in digital media, when it's overtly done, the backlash is significant, as you can see from all of these comments, from all of these videos, in which one way or another AI was used to shortcut the final video. If you want to use AI as an effective shortcut in growing your channel, it needs to be hidden from the viewer. This means you let AI help you in research, in brainstorming ideas, in cleaning up sloppy voice work, or chopping up hundreds of takes of different footage, not in what the viewer sees as the final product. This gives you efficiency gains, allowing you more time to make better quality videos which will perform better in the algorithm. Some upload settings matter and others don't. This little black tick box is the most important box to consider when you're posting a video on YouTube. If you tick it, your video will be published to your subscription feed and all of your subscribers who have notifications on will be alerted. This is a double-edged sword. It's good when you're targeting your existing audience base with the type of content you know they like, as they will give you good metrics in the first few minutes and hours after posting, encouraging YouTube to market your video more broadly. However, if you tick this box and post a totally new style of content, you risk your subscribers not caring, and either not clicking or not watching the full video, ruining its prospects in the algorithm. So do not mindlessly skip over this option. For every video, consider whether it's relevant to be ticked or not. As I said a few minutes ago, YouTube gauges dialogue in your videos to understand what the content is about, but it also does so via the content category selector. This selector only matters if your content cleanly fits into a distinct genre. Many of the options like entertainment, film and animation, science and tech, people and blogs can all overlap and blur, so the algorithm doesn't pay much attention to them. But if you blatantly pick the wrong category, that has a heavy weighting in the algorithm and it can have a big impact. Take this example from my recent video about how to become a gaming YouTuber in 2025. I initially selected gaming as the category, since this video is targeted at gamers, so that's who the algorithm showed the video to. A wide variety of people who like video games. The problem was, I was actually targeting aspiring YouTubers who are also gamers, which is probably less than 1% of the gaming audience, which means at least 99% of people were not interested in the video and didn't click on it, which gave us a 0.2% click-through rate in the first 8 hours after posting. Tragic. Once I remembered I'd selected gaming, I changed the category to education, which is in line with the rest of my video's labeling. After YouTube considered the change, you can see it starts testing a new audience, and my click-through rate and average view duration start to rise, and then so does the amount of views that I'm getting on that video. Comments are useful for the algorithm as it allows YouTube to gauge the audience sentiment of the video, i.e. are your comments positive or negative, but also how engaged your audience is, so you need to keep comments on. Also, having them turned off looks weak and like you're guilty in trying to hide something. The algorithm will change, but you can change faster. The YouTube algorithm has a habit of adapting every 12 to 24 months, and the Shorts algorithm even more so given it was invented more recently. Sometimes these changes can totally obliterate channels who do not notice the change or are not prepared for it. For example, when YouTube introduced 4K videos back in March 2015, the algorithm started promoting 4K videos over lower quality ones, as YouTube tried to push a more premium look on the platform. This was later taken back when YouTube realized most viewers not only don't watch in 4K, and that the average viewer doesn't really care about production quality over 1080p. But how do you spot these changes today? Firstly, be on the lookout for physical changes to the YouTube platform. In the last 2 months, YouTube switched out the music tab on the homepage to favor podcasts. And if you look at the homepage for podcasts, you'll notice YouTube is actually pushing a variety of channel sizes, not just ones that are really popular. This is huge, because you could find yourself on someone's podcast homepage even on a low number of views, since anyone can label any of their videos as a podcast, regardless if it is actually a podcast or not. Secondly, keep an eye out on the YouTube Updates Google page. Now, it's not going to say something like, "We have changed the YouTube algorithm to push ABC style content," but what it does hint is at YouTube's prioritization and thought process. For example, when YouTube changed custom ad timeline positions down to 8 minutes from 10, this was YouTube signaling that videos in the 8 to 10 minute range were more valuable than previously, so the best thing to do would be immediately start releasing videos of that length, assuming it suited your content style. Thirdly, look for unusual changes in performance in groups of your channel's videos, and if you can match those to changes in your competitors' performance, assuming ceteris paribus, aka if you don't change anything on your channel, do you see a sudden increase or decrease in performance? What you will uncover here is YouTube changing its preferences on either content format or changes in metrics which it thinks are important. Then you want to look for rising new channels with new content formats. For example, Sam Sulik and Gooby and Doobie videos are very long-winded and low production quality, and hugely popular. And this is no coincidence. Since other social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram are cornering the market for short-ish content, YouTube has organically become the home for much longer formatted content, so the YouTube algorithm has adapted to favor videos in the 20 to 45 minute range. Let's talk about Friends, the TV show, and trust me, this is very relevant to YouTube. Friends broke multiple records, from being the most watched TV show finale of all time at 52 million viewers, to being the most watched TV show for multiple seasons in a row. Compare this to a very similar show, How I Met Your Mother, which uses the same formula of being a sitcom featuring 5 30-ish-year-old relationship and career-aspiring white Americans in New York. However, the results were very different. How I Met Your Mother never broke any season viewership records, and its finale only had 12.9 million US viewers. Now, I would argue that How I Met Your Mother was better than Friends, but why did it not perform better? And how is that relevant to YouTube? Well, Friends was a breakout show which defined a genre and is always used as the reference point for any sitcom made in the future. This means anyone who has heard the term sitcom has at least heard of Friends if not watched it. I call this the algorithm grandfather bias. Because of this, all of the future shows with similarities capture a subsection of the original audience. In YouTube terms, this is why the OG channels in a niche seem to always be the greatest. You have Graham Stephan in finance, The Race in Formula 1, Cocomelon on YouTube Kids. The YouTube algorithm is trying to reflect human behavior here. It is showing preference to a proven formula on content it knows people like. Therefore, trying to override this takes extreme evidence of change, meaning if you start your channel in an existing niche, unless you completely revolutionize the genre, you will only ever get a subsection of the oldest and largest channel's audience. When I launch channels in an existing niche, I use a 25% rule as a guide. This is the maximum viewership of the most popular channel I will likely capture. My point here is, if you have very large growth aspirations and you're a creative person, originality always wins over taking heavy inspiration from an existing thing, and you are more likely to get noticed by the algorithm and viewers if you are unique in some way. Calls to action are when you ask the viewer to do something for you, but make sure you have a reason. As the data shows, asking a request and then saying because plus the reason makes the person over 50% more likely to comply. For example, please watch this video next because it will help you grow your YouTube channel.